Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, the NFL offseason is buzzing with rumors, trade talks, and potential roster shakeups. But this time, it's about something that could seriously shake up the AFC North, and by extension, the Pittsburgh Steelers' plans for the upcoming season. We're talking about a wide receiver movement that's been quietly brewing, and it has the potential to change the division's landscape in a big way. The Steelers, as we all know, have been solidifying their roster, especially on the offensive side, trying to build around Kenny Pickett, their promising young quarterback. But one of the lingering questions, and a big one, has been about that second receiver, the guy who can step up and make a real difference opposite George Pickens, who's shown flashes of brilliance but still needs consistency and a reliable target to elevate the offense as a whole. Over the past few weeks, there's been a lot of chatter about Pittsburgh's interest in upgrading that position. I mean, we all remember that the Steelers showed some interest earlier this offseason in acquiring Chris Olave from the New Orleans Saints. It was just a rumor at the time, but it shows that Pittsburgh is actively looking for that game-changing outside receiver. And they weren't just sitting on their hands, either. They also brought in Gabe Davis for a visit. Davis, for those who might not be familiar, is a talented receiver from the Bills, known for his big play ability and contested catches. He's a guy who could certainly add some explosiveness to the Steelers' offense if things worked out. But even after bringing in Jonnu Smith, a versatile tight end, the Steelers' need for a reliable, consistent outside receiver remains. That's where things get really interesting because the NFL rumor mill has just heated up with a new name entering the conversation: Jauan Jennings from the San Francisco 49ers. Yes, you heard that right. Jennings, a player who's been making waves in the league and had his best season last year, is reportedly looking for either a new contract or a trade, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. And this could be a golden opportunity for the Steelers, especially considering what Jennings brings to the table. Now, Jennings isn't just some average receiver. Last year, he had a breakout season, 77 catches, nearly 1,000 yards, and 6 touchdowns. And if you remember Super Bowl LVII, Jennings stepped up in a big way, catching a touchdown and even throwing one. That kind of versatility and clutch performance is exactly what Pittsburgh needs. The Steelers have been trying to find that consistent outside threat, a guy who can stretch the field, make contested catches, and be a reliable target in critical moments. Jennings, with his size, route-running ability, and postseason experience, might be that guy. And here's an interesting angle. Going from Kyle Shanahan's offense to Arthur Smith's might be a smooth transition for Jennings. Both systems demand a lot from their receivers, especially over-the-middle concepts and run blocking, which Jennings is more than comfortable with. That familiarity with multiple offensive schemes could help him adapt quickly to the Steelers' system and become a key piece in their attack. But what about the bigger picture? The Steelers have been building a solid roster, and this potential addition could be a major boost. Pittsburgh's offensive line is improving, and with Najee Harris still anchoring their ground game, having a reliable receiver like Jennings could open up the passing game even more. Kenny Pickett's development as a quarterback depends heavily on having weapons who can make plays on the outside, and Jennings' skill set fits that profile perfectly. It's also worth noting that the Steelers have been aggressive in addressing their needs this offseason, whether through the draft, free agency, or trade rumors. The addition of a player like Jennings could be the final piece that elevates their offense from decent to dangerous. And considering the AFC North's competitiveness with teams like the Bengals, Ravens, and Browns all making significant moves, Pittsburgh can't afford to sit still. They need to keep pace and ideally gain an edge. Now, let's take a quick step back and look at the bigger picture for the Steelers this season. Last year, they showed resilience and grit, finishing with a solid record and a promising young core. Kenny Pickett's development has been a bright spot, and the defense, under the guidance of Mike Tomlin, remains a formidable unit. But the offense was somewhat inconsistent, especially in the passing game. That's why these rumors about Jennings or other receivers coming into the fold are so critical. They could be the difference between a playoff team and a division champion. And speaking of the division, the AFC North is no longer just a defensive grind. It's becoming more dynamic, more explosive, with teams investing heavily in their offenses. Bengals, led by Joe Burrow and a talented receiving core, continue to look like a powerhouse. The Ravens have revamped their offense, adding speed and versatility, and the Browns are always dangerous with their running game and emerging passing attack. In this scenario, the Steelers must respond, and adding a proven playmaker like Jennings could be exactly what they need to stay competitive and possibly push for the top of the division. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Is Jennings really the answer? Well, that's still up in the air, but the talent, the experience, and the recent performance speak volumes. He's a player who can contribute immediately, especially in a system that values versatility and physicality. And for the Steelers, acquiring a player like him wouldn't just be about filling a roster spot. It would be about making a statement, showing that they're serious about competing at the highest level. Of course, there are hurdles. The 49ers might want a significant draft pick or other assets in exchange for Jennings, and Pittsburgh will have to weigh whether it's worth giving up draft capital for a player who's definitely in his prime, but still has room to grow. But given the competitive window that the Steelers are trying to keep open, making bold moves like this could be exactly what they need to push over the top. Let's also not forget the history of the Steelers, how they've always been a franchise that values toughness, resilience, and smart decision-making. Whether it was the Steel Curtain era, the Big Ben championships, or the recent playoff runs, Pittsburgh has shown that they're not afraid to make bold moves when it counts. And this potential trade or signing could be just another step in their ongoing quest to contend for another Super Bowl. Looking ahead, if this move materializes, what could it mean for the team? Well, it could unlock Kenny Pickett's full potential, giving him a reliable outside target who can make plays in tight coverage. It might also help open up the running game by forcing defenses to respect the passing threat. And of course, it would send a message to the rest of the AFC that the Steelers aren't just content with being a playoff team, they're aiming for the top, for the championship. And I want to emphasize that this isn't just speculation. NFL insiders are watching this situation closely, and the buzz suggests that the Steelers are considering all options. Whether it's a trade for Jennings or even exploring other receivers, the message is clear. Pittsburgh is serious about upgrading their roster, about making a splash that could reverberate across the league. So, Steelers fans, what do you think about all this? Is Jauan Jennings the missing piece for your team's offense? Would you be happy if Pittsburgh pulls the trigger on a trade? Or do you think they should look elsewhere? Whatever your thoughts are, I want to hear from you. Drop your comments below, share your predictions, and let's keep this conversation going. This offseason is heating up, and the Steelers are right in the middle of it, ready to surprise us all once again. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. This team has a rich history, and it's clear they're not done yet. The future's bright, and with some bold moves, they could be heading back to the top. Thanks for staying with me, and I'll see you in the next video.